Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Steps Headed podcast. I am your host, Stephen B. I'm so glad to be on the air with you guys again on tonight. Listen, we have a wonderful show lined up on tonight. I do want to give you all a few more moments to come on in the room. Invite everybody to like it, share it. Everybody come in. If any of you are watching on my personal page, I'm asking that you jump on over to the Step Set It podcast page because I got a feeling y'all gonna have some comments on this. Y'all gonna have some comments on the letter that I got on tonight, and I want to make sure that I can put these comments up on the screen. Uh, so yeah, this is gonna be a good one right here. I don't know if any of you all knew this, but October, there are a lot of things that we celebrate in the month of October. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, as we know. It is um, domestic abuse or domestic violence awareness month. But there are a few other things that are celebrated in the month of October. In October, we also celebrate Lupus Awareness Month. It is World Mental Health Day in October. It's AIDS Awareness Month. It is Mental Illness Awareness Month. It is Hispanic Heritage Month. It is World Food Day. Um, now, I don't know where they got this from because on Google it says Black History Month. Now, we all know Black History Month is in February. Now, we'll take October because October got 31 days. February only got 28 days unless it's a leap year, and then that's 29. But we all know Black History Month is February. It is also Pregnancy and Infant Loss Remembrance Month. And so these are all causes, these are all things that are shared, that are talked about. These are causes that are championed during the month of October. But the one that we are going to address on tonight, and please understand, I am not diminishing any of these causes. To all of my breast cancer survivors, we applaud you on the show. To all of my domestic abuse survivors. We applaud you on the show. For those of you who are championing the efforts for lupus and you are in the fight, listen, we applaud you for your efforts. For those of you who are pushing the cause for HIV and AIDS awareness, we appreciate you so much for your work. So we applaud you on the show. Thank you so much for everything that you do. So I do not want to diminish any of that. However, on tonight, I have a letter because this is Bullying Prevention Month. Hmm. Yes, this is Bullying Prevention Month. And so we got a letter tonight. And this letter is very, very interesting. And so I want you all to come on in the room. I need y'all to lock in with me because this is going to be a good show tonight. This is going to be a very good show tonight. So let's go ahead and jump into the letter because doggone it, y'all know my motto. If you ask me, I'm going to tell you. That's the whole mantra behind Step Said It. If you ask me, I'm going to tell you. Now, I am not a psychiatrist, a psychologist. I'm not a social worker. I'm not a counselor. I'm just a man who is solid on my opinions and I love to talk about them. And so I have a letter tonight, and the person did not reveal their name, which is probably for the best. But we're going to talk about it tonight. So here we go. Let's jump on into the letter. Dear Step Said It, I am reaching out for your advice regarding a difficult situation regarding my child. Recently, I received a call from my child's school informing me that he has been involved in bullying other students. I was shocked and deeply concerned to hear this. The situation escalated when one of the parents of a child my son has bullied approached him directly, expressing their anger and threatening him. This confrontation has left my son feeling scared and confused, and I'm at a loss for how to handle this situation appropriately. As a parent, I want to address this issue seriously while also helping my child understand the impact of his actions. I am torn between wanting to protect him and ensuring that he learns from this experience. Could you provide guidance on how to navigate this situation? What steps should I take to support both my child and the affected students? Any advice on how to communicate with my son about this and how to prevent future incidents would be greatly helpful. I look forward to hearing your thoughts. Warm regards. Wow, listener. Yeah, you got a situation on your hands right now. You got a situation on your hands right now. So, this is what we got going on. We got a child at school who is the bully. Now, in a lot of situations, when we talk about the bullying situation, we always, more times than not, I won't say always, more times than not, we come from the angle of the child that is being bullied. And how do I support my child that is being bullied? And how do I help my child that is being bullied? And we could talk about those because they're important. But if you have a child that's being bullied, you didn't write in to talk to me about it, and so we're gonna dig into this letter from the person who has a child who is the bully. Your child is the bully. Your child is the bully. So the first thing you said is when you got a call from the school, you were deeply shocked and concerned to hear this. Now, on one hand, I would say I could call Cap because that's what the children say today, Cap. Um, on another note, I could call BS because that's what we said in our day. Like that's BS. Um, dude, this is the thing. You know your child. You know your child. And I think one of the issues that we run into in today's society is when a parent gets a phone call about something that their child did, the first thing they want to do is come to the defense of the child. Let me tell you something. When I was growing up, it didn't matter what I did. I could have been the model student in my own head, and I could have, I could have done the best that I could. But if my mama or my daddy got a call from the school, the last person that they were going to defend was the child. My daddy used to tell me all the time, you go to school to learn. And so you do whatever that teacher tell you to do. As long as that teacher ain't telling you to do anything that's going to threaten your life or that's going to bring damage to your body, then you do what that teacher's telling you to do. Okay? It ain't your job to question the teacher. It ain't your job to talk back to the teacher. It ain't your job to do. Like my daddy would always, my mama and daddy would always defend the teacher because you going to school to learn. They got what you need. So you need to get in class and you need to pay attention. And the other thing that my daddy used to say is, now we ain't gonna have no problems. He would tell the teachers. My daddy would go up to the school, and I know y'all thinking I'm off topic. I'm really not off topic because I'm about to get back to where we're going. But my daddy would go to the school and my daddy would tell the teachers, if you have a problem with him, then you tighten him up. And after you tighten him up, you call me and you let me know, and I'm gonna tighten him up. And when he come back to school, he gonna be fine. Now he might be sitting on a pillow, but he gonna be fine. Now, and this was a conversation he had with every teacher for the duration of my schooling career until I got to college. And I believe he probably would have done it in college, but my classes were so spread out, and it was just too much for him to try to find. But yeah, we don't play. Now the problem is if you get a call saying your child is a bully, you know your child is a bully. You know your child is bullying these other children. Now you may not see it directly, but you know little Johnny is not the perfect angel. So why are you not listening to the teacher when the teacher is telling you little Johnny is a little hellion? Okay, so that's part one. So you are deeply concerned and you were shocked. No, you wasn't shocked. You knew. You know. You know, little Johnny got more money than he had when he went to school, and you know you ain't gave him no money. But now, you know, he got some money from somewhere. Yeah, little Johnny done stole these little cheering money. Little Johnny beating up on the little boys and little girls at the school, and little Johnny he's running them up. So this is part two. So one thing that you can do to help support little Johnny is you go up to little Johnny school and you be in there and you watch little Johnny and see what little Johnny is actually doing. Just, just see, you know, just go talk to the principal. Since you got a call from the school and the school telling you he a bully, tell him like, listen, I don't want Johnny to know that I'm here. I just want to come in and I just want to monitor and I want to see for myself. I want to make sure y'all ain't lying on my son. Now you know good and well there ain't nobody lying on little Johnny. You know little Johnny. You okay? But all right. So here we go. So now you're concerned. Then, then the situation escalated when one of the parents of a child my son has bullied approached him directly, expressing their anger and threatening him. This confrontation has left my son feeling scared and confused, and I am at a loss for how to handle this situation appropriately. I'm going to tell you how you handle the situation appropriately. You sit little Johnny down and you say, you know how you feel? You see how you feel right now? Because this man has come up to you and he has threatened you and he has told you that he is ready to wring your neck. That's how all these little children feel. Remember that feeling. That's how all these little children that you bullying, that's how they feel. Remember that feeling. Remember that feeling. What you feel, you scared and you confused. Why is this man coming up on me like this? That's what these children are saying. Why is little Johnny coming up on me like this? So you want to support him? This is what we call teachable moments. Little Johnny, the way you feel right now, this is the way these children feel when you start messing with them. Now, this is the other part. This is something else my daddy used to tell me. My daddy used to tell me, he would say, now, don't you don't pick a fight, but you don't just let nobody just run over you. And so what daddy used to tell us to do is he said, you know, you know, when you see you know you got a situation going on, he said, then you just go, you know, around the school and you put you know, some little happies around the school. You know, find you a stick, a good firm stick, and put the stick off somewhere. And then you find you a brick and put the brick off somewhere. And then as soon as you got a bully and he start messing with you, just break out running. Just break out running. Make sure you get a good head start on you. And as soon as you come around that corner, as soon as you get that corner, you pick up that stick, and whoever your bully is, when they come around that corner, bam, meet them. Now, here on the Steps Headed podcast, we don't condone violence. However, we do believe in you reap what you sow. I said what I said. You can't just you listen. So, but we're not talking about the children that are being bullied. We're talking about the bully. So how do you support Lil Johnny? This is how you support Lil Johnny. Um, the first thing that you need to do is you need him to understand the severity of his actions. Like really, you need to understand the severity of what's going on. because a lot of school shootings, when children snap and when they come and they shoot up the school and they do all of that, they do all of that in more cases than not. It's because they're being bullied, and so they feel like they are without hope. They are afraid, and so it it triggers something in their minds, and they snap out, and they go home, and they come back with a gun, and the first person they gonna come looking for is little Johnny. And if anybody get in the way of me getting a little Johnny, well, you are now my opposition, so I got to take you out. And so this is the way you support. The way you support little Johnny is you do not let little Johnny play the victim. And this is the unpopular opinion. I'm sorry, but this is the Steps Aided podcast. You wrote into my show. You want to know what I would do. This is what I would do. You gon' this is you not finna play the victim. Now, was the parent wrong for coming up to little Johnny to have a conversation with little Johnny? Depends on what the parent said. Did the parent really threaten little Johnny? Did the parent really, if I were the parent of a child who was being bullied, then and I had to encounter little Johnny, my children were never bullied, but my children had situations with people that they just they didn't really jive with a little bit. And so sometimes it helps to just be present as a parent. Now I know we got life going on, and life be life, and we got jobs, and I understand that. I'm not saying you got to be up at the school every day all day. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that you got to just leave your job and go up and start working at the school. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is be a present parent. And that's on both sides of the coin. That's for little Johnny, and that's for the child who may be being bullied. Be a present parent, because one thing I can tell you, that if a child is being bullied and the parent all of a sudden shows up, then the bully is going to be less likely to bully that child. And if the parent shows up and starts to show compassion for all of the other children, then little Johnny is going to be less likely to be a bully. Particularly because little Johnny, this may be just a cry for attention. Little Johnny just may want somebody to be his friend, but he doesn't know how to communicate that. And so his way of communicating it is, I'm gonna make you be my friend, or I'm gonna make you, you either gonna be with me or you're gonna be against me. And so, it could be a cry for help, but right now we can't focus on helping little Johnny. We need little Johnny to see what happens when you behave yourself, when you do right. It's called positive reinforcement. Now, see, this is the thing. We're gonna insert a commercial break right here. I have some wonderful comments that are being made on my personal page, and I would love to be able to put these comments on the screen so people can see what you all are saying. But in order for this to happen, I need for you all to please come over to the Steps Aided podcast page. Just come over to the Steps Aided page. It's still on Facebook, and you can still say the same things. But y'all giving me good comments, and I see the comments. But I need y'all to come over to the Steps Aided page, because some of these comments I want to put on the screen. And so so that was our commercial break. We are now back to our regularly scheduled program. But yeah, little Johnny, right now we can't focus on little Johnny. Right now we have to focus on the children who are being traumatized by little Johnny. And again, as a parent, if I find out that my child is the bully, then we are going to do some drastic things to immediately change that behavior. Um, I may be okay, Celeste. I got you. Hold on. Hold on. I'm going to add this comment. Stand by. There we go. Okay. So now I just added it in there. But we can't focus on we can't focus on little Johnny right now. We have to focus on the children who little Johnny is affecting. Okay, so now we coming on in the room, so now we can talk about it. But we can't. And again, and I'm trying to get back on track. So we got to focus on number one, diverting this energy that little Johnny is is displaying. Um, Now to the parent of the child who walked up to little Johnny and had words with little Johnny, you, sir or ma'am, are the step-headed parent of the decade. Now, uh-oh, uh-oh, here we go. See, now we talking. Cause I got this is my man right here. This is my guy. And he said, we all know what makes a bully stop bullying. Uh-huh. Yes, we do. This is, ladies and gentlemen, we have the maestro himself, my brother, who says little Johnny ain't the victim. And then we have my sister from another, Mr. Celeste. Y'all know Celeste was on the show at the beginning of the month talking about her journey as a survivor. And she says little Johnny needs to be tested. Now, I'm old school. I'm old school. And again, this is probably going to be the unpopular opinion. Um, when I was growing up, we didn't have ADHD diagnosis. Um, I'm pretty sure we had a bunch of children who, when I was growing up, I probably could have been diagnosed with ADHD. I probably could have, because I I didn't always sit down and shut up. I didn't always, sometimes I would get a little antsy in class, and I would talk a lot and all of these things. Like, these are all things I probably could have been. I probably, in today's society, in today's society, you would probably say I had ADHD. But that was a solution that my mom and daddy had in our house, that was a remedy for ADHD. And that was, they will whoop your butt. That was the solution for ADHD, was we finna tighten your behind up. We finna, you finna, at the three words that I used to hate to hear my daddy say. Three words that but I already knew what those words were. I knew what those words meant, and I knew what was about to happen. My daddy would come in the house after he got a report. And he would say, I told y'all this is my brother, assume the position. We ain't got nothing to talk about. We ain't nothing gonna be said. And and I've heard people talk about the damage that um, spanking your children causes. I don't agree with any of the damage that y'all say spanking your children causes. I believe what the Bible says. The Bible says that foolishness is bound in the heart of a child, but the rod of correction will drive it far from them. The Bible says if you spare the rod, you'll spoil the child. The Bible says if you beat them with the rod, you will save their soul from hell. I'm not making this up. This is what the Bible says. Now we want to talk about when we talk about the Bible, we want to talk about the prosperity. The Bible said, "Give and it'll be given back to you, good measure." The Bible says that it is more blessed to give than to receive. The Bible said, these are all things that the Bible says. But we're gonna take the Bible, we're gonna take the whole Bible, and we're gonna process the whole thing. Spanking saved my life, mine too. As a matter of fact, sir, your mama had this device in her classroom called the meat eater. We didn't have issues in school like we have now. But the problem is the power for discipline was taken out of the hand of the teachers and it was put in the hands of the students. At some point, students were told that they have a right. They were just told you have rights. No, no. What you have a right to do is get in this classroom, sit your butt down, and learn. That's what you have the right to do. That's it. And so now here we are. I'm sorry, this has turned into a different conversation altogether. But you you cannot you cannot let children feel like they are on the level of an adult. I'm sorry. You not on my level. I have that conversation with my children now. I love my children. My children, we have so much fun together. But my children also know that I am the final word in my house. And if we're playing, when I say stop playing, the playing cease. Because however old I am right now, the age, I have two adult daughters. I have a daughter that's 25. I have a daughter that's 23. And both of my adult daughters know I will still jack you up. The joy of parenting, though, is my children, because of the relationship we have, they will not put me in a situation that I have to jack them up. But they understand if I have to, I will. My dad, God rest his soul. When my dad put the fear of God in us so much that when I got older, I knew that if something triggered in my mind and I just lost it, I knew that I could beat my daddy in a fist fight. I knew if it came down to it, and me and daddy had to throw hands. Once he got up in age, yeah, I could take him. But then if I didn't snap all the way out, but I decided I just didn't want to deal with it, then I could outrun my dad. I could. But he put the fear of God in me to the point where even I'm a full grown man with children. I pay my own bills. I live in my own house. I do what I do. But if my daddy told me to do something, there was not a conversation. There was not a question. If daddy told me to do it, I did. Period. Period. And I think what has happened to our children today is we have tried so hard to be our children's friends that we forgot that we are our children's parents. The other thing is, and again, these are all nuggets. A lot of what I'm talking about tonight, these are all nuggets that I got from my dad. So when little Johnny is cutting up at 2 years old and he running around cussing you out, oh, it's cute. Oh, little Johnny said this, or little Johnny said that. Little Johnny just walked in the room and said, or little Johnny told his teacher, okay, it's cute at 2. Now he doing it at 3. Now he doing it at 5. It's cute. Oh, we gonna post this on Instagram. We gonna post this on Facebook. We gonna post this on TikTok. He gonna go viral with this. Now little Johnny is 15. Now he's 15 and he cuss you out. Now you got a problem. You can't have a problem with little Johnny cussing you out at 15 because little Johnny been cussing you out for 10 years. So if you let little Johnny do it when he 5, if you let little Johnny do it when he 3, you are teaching little Johnny then that it's okay. And even if little Johnny don't disrespect you, but if little Johnny start disrespecting other people, then little Johnny is learning that it is okay to disrespect other people. And then when little Johnny cut up and you come up to the school and you cut up like little Johnny, then little Johnny understands, oh, there are no consequences to my actions. Now little Johnny's out of control. So then at 18, little Johnny driving in the car, little Johnny gets pulled over by the police. Little Johnny from 3 has been disrespecting authority. Now, little Johnny's a hashtag. Hashtag little Johnny. Gone too soon. No, little Johnny didn't learn to shut his mouth. Little Johnny didn't learn to get somewhere and sit down and shut up. Oh, you ain't supposed to tell a child to shut up. Or who? Who? Again, this is the unpopular opinion. This is the Step Said It podcast. You ask me, I'm going to tell you. Does that mean that as a parent, I disrespect my child? Absolutely not. But there's a phrase that says rules without relationship breed rebellion. I can't hammer down rules on little Johnny if I don't have a relationship with little Johnny. I can't be little Johnny's parent when little Johnny got raised by the Xbox. Little Johnny got a violent streak because little Johnny spent all his time playing Grand Theft Auto. And so little Johnny doesn't understand the consequence of if you hit somebody in the head with a bat that you could possibly kill them. Because on Grand Theft Auto, after I hit you in the head with a bat, all I got to do is press reset and the game start over. So now little Johnny is desensitized. And let me be clear. I'm saying little Johnny because for the purposes of the letter, the child that is the bully is a boy, but you have little Jackie and little Jessica and little Joanne, who is just as bad as little Johnny. So bullying is not gender specific because you can have girls who are bullies, and sometimes because of the intimidation factors, girls can be probably a bigger bully than a boy. I would say you heard it here first, but maybe not. So, all right. So here we go. Here we go, because I gotta reel it in, because I kind of got out on a tangent. So, how do you provide guidance on how to navigate this situation, and what steps should you take to support both your child and the child that's affected, and the students that are affected? Um, the first thing I would tell you to do is sit down and have a real conversation with little Johnny and lay out some real consequences to little Johnny. Little Johnny, if I get another phone call from this school and I find out that you still bullying these children, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna throw a party and I'm gonna invite all of the children that you have been bullying over to the house, and we're gonna play a game called Human Pinata. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hang you up from a tree, and I'm gonna give all these little children a stick, and I'm gonna just let them beat you until the candy fall out. Okay, don't do that. I'm sorry. Don't do that. That's wrong. Don't do that. Um, but the man who approached Little Johnny and told Little Johnny that he approached him and told him what he was gonna do. Take Little Johnny over to his house and let him cut his grass. Take Little Johnny over to his house and make him wash his car. Take Little Johnny. Let's put work behind the actions. Because it's not all discipline is not always a whipping. Because my dad used to have his other thing, and I didn't know. I mean, now I know. Now I know, as I've gotten older, it's called planks, and they call squats. But Daddy used to make us get in a push up position and hold it. You can't hold it no more. All right, get on the wall, do wall squats, hold your arm out. Can't do that no more. Okay, back to the planks. Yeah, I mean, there are ways you can discipline children without spanking the children. I saw, and I'm not gonna call names, although he put it on Snapchat, but I'm not gonna say it. But good friend of mine, his son was cutting up in school. He put him on Snapchat. He doing suicides in the backyard, running. You got to put a consequence with the action. Put a consequence with the action. You want to be a bully? Okay, not a problem. We're gonna break the bully spirit in you, so that the police ain't gotta break you and the bully spirit. Now, do we need to find out what's really going on with little Johnny that's causing him to be a bully? Absolutely, we do. And here we go. Where is little Johnny Daddy? This is the thing. This letter very well could have come from little Johnny's daddy. I don't know, because the letter itself is not gender. It's not gender specific. But this is what I will say. As a parent, one of the things that has parents in fear is the law, because children can now go to school and tell the teacher, my daddy whooped me, or my mama whooped me, or my daddy did this to me, or my mama did this to me. And now you got child services at your house, because they are looking at the welfare of the child. Do I believe that abuse is a real situation? Absolutely, I do. I know children who have been abused. My parents kept foster children, and those foster children were were in foster care because they were victims of abuse. But there is a difference between abusing a child and disciplining a child. Every child needs to be disciplined, and discipline does not always equal abuse. As a matter of fact, discipline never equals abuse. Because one of the things my mom and dad would always do, it never failed. After we got a whooping, my mama and daddy would love on us, and they would hug us, and they would explain why they had to do what they did. And they would always make that statement that I thought was a lie from the pit of hell. This hurt me more than it hurts you. Because now I'm trying to figure out why am I the only one over here crying? But then I later found out, once I became an adult, that after my daddy would whoop us, he would go in the room by himself and close the door, and he would cry because it hurt him to have to do what he did. But it saved my life. And I will be forever grateful for every whooping that my mama gave me, that my daddy gave me, that my teachers gave me. Every whooping, because of those whoopings, I never had to get a whooping from the police. Never got hit in the head with a billy club. It taught me to respect authority. So stop trying to be little Johnny's friend and be little Johnny's parent. Have a conversation with little Johnny. Have a real conversation with little Johnny. They had programs when I was in school called like programs like Scared Straight. Uh, Dad had police officer friends who, it wasn't nothing for them to just come up and be like, "Hey, you Reverend Brandon's son, ain't acting like this? You sure right? Let me get somewhere and sit down." We cannot we cannot circumvent the process of parenting out of fear for a system. And I agree that the system is not fair, because it's not okay for a parent to whoop a child, but it is socially accepted for the police to do it. And that's wrong. That's wrong. One of the things that I have seen here recently in the last few years is men have been stepping up, and they'll do things like on the first day of school they'll go to the school, to various schools, and they'll clap them in, they're cheering them in, and they're being very present, and they're being very active, and it gives them a positive image of what I should be acting like. A lot of times children don't know how to act because they don't see anybody acting like that. The reason why little Johnny acting the way he act could be because that's how mama and or daddy acts. It's systemic. And so in order for him to do better, he got to see better. So I can tell little Johnny, hey, this is the way you're supposed to be acting. But if I come home every day and I'm talking around little Johnny about the way I cuss my boss out at work, well, that's two different opinions. Well, daddy, you told me I can't do this. So now I'm back to, well, you ain't me. And you're right. But we've got to understand that even though these are little people, they are still people, and they learn from what they see. All right. So here we go. Um, Take little Johnny out to the school and make little Johnny stand up in front of his class. Now I don't know how old little Johnny is either, because little Johnny might not be little Johnny. Little Johnny might be big Johnny. I don't care. Okay. You go up to the school. You make little Johnny stand in front of the school, in front of the class, and apologize to every person that he bullied. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I won't do this again. Please forgive me for my actions. And then from there, you find out who again now, and I'm real big on this one. Find the parent. Find the parent that approached little Johnny, and you have a conversation with the parent. To be like, to the parent, listen, I understand your anger. I understand your frustration. I would ask moving forward, if you have an issue with my son, then you please, here is my telephone number. This is my email address. This is all of my contact information. If you have an issue with him, or if you find out that he's doing some other things, then I'm asking that you please reach out to me. And I assure you, I will handle him. And you have that conversation with little Johnny present. So little Johnny knows, okay, my daddy or my mama or whomever is making friends with the man who threatened me. Is that going to make him feel like the world is ganging up on him? No, because we also having conversations with little Johnny to say, listen, this is what we're not going to do. This is a behavior that we're not going to condone. This is not a behavior that we're not going to continue this. We finna get some act right in this house. And then you have little Johnny go over there and cut this man grass, or wash his car, or do some form of an act of service as a way of saying, hey, I'm sorry. And then if you want to do something to help encourage little Johnny after he washed the car, give little Johnny $5. Give little Johnny $10. Because now you're teaching him the value of positive reinforcement. If you work, you get paid. If you don't, it's gonna be trouble. And then you become an advocate, not just for the children who have been bullied, but you also become an advocate for little Johnny. You let little Johnny know that he has some support coming from you. You let your little Johnny know that you really do have his back. And when you see little Johnny do something good, you acknowledge that. You make a big deal out of it. You tell, man, you did that. That's my son. That's the one I like right there. I don't know who that other little boy was running around, but that's the one I like right there. That's the one you encourage. That's how you encourage little Johnny. Positive reinforcement. And you encourage him on the upside. And then as you start seeing those behaviors change, then you start giving more attention to the good things that he's doing and less attention to the bad things he's doing. So you let little Johnny know, if you want this from me, you can't keep acting like that. Now, it is my prayer that little Johnny is not 16. Because if little Johnny is 16, you probably going to have to literally hit little Johnny in the head with a bat. I'm joking. Don't hit little Johnny in the head with a bat. Use a rolled up newspaper. It won't leave a mark. So, to my letter writer, thank you so much for writing in. Uh, I appreciate your candidness. I appreciate your willingness to put little Johnny out there. Um, the last thing that I would say is find little Johnny a counselor. Find little Johnny a counselor. Find somebody that little Johnny can sit down and talk to. Um, Celeste said it earlier. Little Johnny might need to be tested. Little Johnny might need to be tested. Um, it could be that little Johnny is really smart, and so he's in class and he gets bored, and so he has all this pent up energy that he doesn't know what to do with, and it is being expelled in a negative way. If we can find a way to get this energy turned into a positive thing, but we cannot let little Johnny play the victim. We have to let little Johnny understand that there are consequences to your actions. And we have to let little Johnny understand that these are things that you brought on yourself. Take his cell phone, take his iPad, take his TV, put little Johnny in a room with a light, a book, and a bed. Take the doors off the hinges. You're a bully, you don't get no privacy. You're a bully, you don't get a cell phone. You're a bully, you don't get a Xbox or a PlayStation. You're a bully, you don't even get to watch TV because you're a bully. And is it going to take work? Yes, it is going to take work. But you cannot let little Johnny raise himself. Little Johnny need a parent. That's all I got. That's all I got. Uh, Hopefully, I will not have anybody pressing charges on me. If you choose to hit your child in the back of the head with a bat, it is not because you heard it on the Steps Edit podcast. You are acting out on your own accord. I did not tell you to hit your child in the head with a bat. I did not tell you to have a party and let all of the children hang little Johnny from a tree and have all the little children beat little Johnny with a stick until the candy come out. I didn't tell you to do that. I may have said it on my podcast, but I did not tell you to do it. And so when you go back and you cut the clip out, make sure you go back to the end of the show and cut this clip as well, because we live and we die off of sound bites. But you better get little Johnny under control. Now that's one thing for sure. You need to get little Johnny under control. So that's all I got for you all tonight. This has been the Steps Edit podcast. Thank you all so much for hanging out with me on tonight. It has truly been a pleasure. I hope I said something tonight to put something on your mind. If you are, in fact, the parent of a little Johnny out there, you know, it's all right. There is hope. Because the other thing that I did not mention, and I should have said it first, pray. Pray. Pray for little Johnny. Pray with little Johnny, so that the system does not prey on little Johnny. All right. This has been the Steps Edit podcast. Thank you all so much for tuning in with me on tonight. It's been a wonderful show. I enjoyed this one. I hope I said something to at least put a smile on your face, if nothing else. We are here every Monday live and in color at 8 o'clock. Listen, next week, I need to go ahead and put this out there. Next week. Well, actually, before I do that, let me not get to next week. Let's go to Thursday. Thursday is Halloween. Now, for those of you who celebrate it, you know, for those of you who do things with your children, you know, all of that, all I'm going to say is, y'all keep your children safe. Don't let these children get out here running the streets, because it's crazy. And we don't want no casualties. We don't want nobody to come up missing. We don't want nobody to come up dead. We don't want nobody coming up sick. Watch your children. Take care of your children. Keep them safe. Keep them close, and make sure you love on them real good. Next week, I'm hoping to have a very special episode of the Steps Edit podcast. We are going to be doing some conversations about the election, because on the following that following Tuesday, it's election day. All right. So election day is Tuesday, November the 5th. This is a huge moment in history. I am not telling you who to vote for, Kamala Harris. I am not telling you what candidate to select, Kamala Harris. What I am telling you is make sure you get out and vote for Kamala Harris. Again, I'm not trying to sway your votes. You vote for who you want to vote for, Kamala Harris. But make sure you go to the polls and you vote for Kamala Harris. We also have some local elections that are coming up. And so it's not all about the presidential election. It's a lot going on in your local municipalities. So make sure you're abreast of all of those as well. For those who are in the Jackson, Mississippi area, I will have a sample ballot that we can actually look at, so that you'll know specifically what's going on. But I do want you to make sure that you get out and vote. Please, please, please get out and vote. We're going to be doing a special episode on next Monday, to talk about, the importance of this election, to talk about, the things that we need to be looking out for, the things we need to be doing, and just encouraging everybody to go to the polls and vote for Kamala Harris. Also, on backing up, on Tuesday, I host this game called Single at Buffalo Wild Wings in Ridgeland. And after single, we do this whole thing called Blazing Hot Karaoke. So if you've always wanted to be a star, you want to sing, you want to do what the stars do, come on out to Buffalo Wild Wings on Tuesday nights. Starting at 8:30 is Blazing Hot Karaoke. And then on Wednesday, we host this little game called Live Trivia. You don't have to be the smartest person in the room. You just got to have just random facts about random stuff. Again, this is at Buffalo Wild Wings. Coming up this weekend, it is Jackson State University homecoming. Jackson Fair, Jackson dear, thee I love, my dear old college home. Thee I love wherever I may roam. Jackson Fair, Jackson dear. Yes, it is homecoming at thee. And so we will be at Veterans Memorial Stadium on Saturday, just having a good time. Listen, this has been the Steps At It podcast. I am your host, Stephen B. I'm here every Monday at 8:30 talking about what y'all want to talk about. So as long as y'all talking, y'all sending letters, I'm going to be sending back information. So we're going to go ahead and sign out for now. But y'all know, if anybody asks you where you get your information from, you know what to tell them. Steps At It. Y'all have a good night. We'll see y'all next week. Love you.